Hello boys and girls, so welcome back to the quest of conquering objectives, right? So my name is Deepak and I'm here dealing with mathematics, and as you all know, I'm a part of Aryan Dedicated. So let's move it, and we are doing chapter number 2, polynomials. Now we finished with part 1, which was of MCQs, and now we are dealing with part 2, which is assertion and reasoning questions and some case study based integrated questions. So without further ado, let's go to the first question. The first assertion reasoning question is very simple. It says, the assertion says x square plus 6x plus 5 has two zeros. Okay. And the reasoning says a quadratic polynomial can have at most two zeros. Okay. And you know the options are as obvious as always. Option A, option B, option C, and option D. Guys, quadratic degree is what? Degree is 2, right? So degree 2 matlab definitely two zeros. Now again, zeros में थोड़ा सा होता है कि zeros are real and distinct, real and equal, and sometimes not real, but not real रहेंगे, but there are definitely two zeros. So the reason also says the same thing कि अगर एक polynomial, if it is quadratic, मतलब its degree is 2, it will have at most two zeros. So basic question, pen paper की जरूरत ही नहीं है. Option A, that both assertion and reason are correct, and the reason is definitely the correct explanation for the assertion. Okay, very simple. Let's move on to the second question. The second question says, if 2, 5 are the zeros of the quadratic polynomial x square minus 7x plus 10, okay, if alpha and beta are the zeros of a quadratic polynomial, then the quadratic polynomial can also be written as or represented as x square minus alpha plus beta, yani ki sum of the zeros into x plus alpha beta. You know the options, okay? Now, let's understand. How do you understand if a number is a zero of a given polynomial or not? बहुत सिंपल सी बात है. If while substituting instead of that variable, I should get the answer as 0. मतलब मैं बोलूंगा वो उसका 0 है. Let's check. 2 square minus 7 into 2 plus 10. 2 square is what? 4 minus 14 plus 10. What do you get? 4 minus 14 is minus 10. Minus 10 plus 10 is 0. Definitely मतलब 2 तो है ही. Let's check for 5 also. 5 square is what? 25 minus 7 into 5 is what? 35 plus 10. 25 minus 35 is minus 10 plus 10 is 0. मतलब definitely assertion is true है मामा. 2 and 5 are zeros. Now let's check if this polynomial can be represented as sum of zeros into x. 2 plus 5 करो 7. Yes, there is a minus. 2 plus 5 7. 10 किसे मिलता है? Alpha into beta. अगर alpha 2 पकड़ा, beta 5, 2 into 5 is 10. That means the reason is also right and it is the correct explanation. Again, option A, both assertion and reason are correct, and the reason is the correct explanation for the assertion given. Simple. Let's go for the next one. The question says, if the zeros of the polynomial x cube, that means it is a cubic polynomial, x cube minus 15x square plus 7x plus 20 are b minus e. E कौन है यार? b and b plus e. थोड़ा AP जैसा लग रहा है. Don't think much. Then the value of b is 5. Oh. Okay. If alpha, beta, gamma are the zeros of p of x, a into x cube plus b into x square plus c into x plus d, इसका general standard form है, where a definitely should not be equal to 0, then alpha, beta, gamma is minus d by a. Okay, let's look at the options. Okay, abhi, guys, you know that there are three zeros. In question is saying one of the zeros is b and b का value is 5. So can I say indirectly वो लोग बोल रहे हैं one zero is 5, making sense? Now, how do I check if a given number is a zero of that polynomial or not? Simple, I'm going to substitute, right? So, I'm going to substitute instead of xb. So, it gives me 5 cube because x cube है, minus 15 into 5 ka square plus 7 into 5 plus 20. I should get this value as 0. 5 cube, you know it is 125 minus 15 into 25 plus 35 plus 20. 125 as it is. If you want, you can do 15 into 25. 25 times are 250, and then 125 you will get definitely 375 plus 55. 125 plus 55 is definitely not going to give you 375, तो definitely वो 0 तो आने वाला है नहीं. That means b का value is not 5. मतलब पहली बार ऐसा हो रहा है that we are getting the assertion as false. If assertion is false, I am not going to even think about looking at the reason, because there is only one option which has assertion is false. So that's why मैं देखने भी नहीं वाला reason सही है गलत है. Are you getting the point? This is how to save some time. Okay, let's go for some case study based questions. It says, in a pool at an aquarium, a dolphin jumps out of the water traveling at 25 centimeter per second. Okay. Its height above water level after t seconds is given by h. The height है 25t minus 12t square. Take t for any number and it will give you the height. It's a polynomial. Okay. Now, case study based questions. We need question. There is the first question. It says, find zeros of the polynomial p of t 25t minus 12t square. Very simple. When you have 25t minus 12t square, you're going to equate it with 0 because you need zeros. When you have just two terms, you're going to take something common out of it. Okay, 25t minus t square will definitely just t is common. Andar bachega 25 minus 12t is equal to 0. Zero product rule says, या तो t 0 होगा, या तो 25 minus 12t is going to be 0. Right? Now, I've got 1 0 which is t is equal to 0 and the next I'm going to write minus 20 is equal to 25 and t is equal to minus 25 upon 12. Okay? So, here I've got the two zeros. So, I think this is going to give you 1 mark. Right? So, let's go for the next question. Second question says, what type of graph will P of t represent? It's a very simple sum. When you think about graphs and when you see the equation now, equation is a linear equation. Why is it called linear equation? Because when you plot on a graph, you get a straight line. इसके लिए linear में line का था. It's a linear equation. Now, when you see the actual variable, उसका degree क्या है? Degree 2 है. So definitely it is going to form a curve. What type of curve? It is always going to form a parabola. So हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? Parabola. So now it could be a curve like this. It is also parabola. Or it could be a curve like this. अभी कैसे मालूम पड़ेगा? This is called as downward parabola because वो नीचे से खुलता है. This is an upward parabola. How do you decide which is downward and upward? Very simple. Look at the coefficient of a. A मतलब कौन? X square यानी कि जो main variable का quadratic term का coefficient here, it is minus 12. If it is negative, the parabola is definitely going to be downwards. How do I remember this? Very simple trick I'll tell you. Whenever it's negative in life, how is your face? Like smiley. Face like this, right? And whenever the coefficient of t square or whatever the variable you're talking about, the quadratic term is positive, your face is going to be like this. So that means if a is positive, your curve is going to be opening upwards. And if your a or the coefficient of the quadratic term of your polynomial is negative, your parabola or your curve is going to be opening downwards. Clear? So you need to write the answer for this. It's a graph is a parabola which opens downwards because अपना coefficient यहाँ पे क्या है? Negative. Getting the point? Okay, let's go for the next question. Next question says, what would be the value of h, यानी कि height, at t is equal to 3 upon 2. 3 upon 2, that is the time. Very simple. I've got h का value. Simple substitution because it's like finding the value of h when t is 3 upon 2. So 25. T के बदले I'm going to substitute 3 upon 2 minus 12 into 3 upon 2 the whole square. Now 25 3s are 75 upon 2 minus 12 as it is. 3 square is 9 and 2 square is 4. You can cancel things out. 4 1s are and 4 3s are. I'm going to get it 75 upon 2 minus 9 3s are 27. I'm going to go for LCM because यहाँ पे 1 है. So 75 minus 54 upon 2. What is 75 minus 54? 21. So it is 21 upon 2. What are we talking about? Height. So when they're asking us interpret the result, मतलब क्या है? Say something about the result, understand what they are saying. They're gonna say what will be the value of h का मतलब क्या? Height. So we're gonna say the height of the dolphin jumping above the water level after that is 3 upon 2 मतलब क्या? 1.5 seconds is nothing but 21 upon 2 centimeter. In short, 10.5 centimeters after 1.5 seconds. Okay, but this could be a bit confusing because guys, if you read the question once, it says jumps out of the water traveling at 25 centimeter per second. मतलब 1 second into just 1 second, it is traveling 25 centimeters. And now in just 1.5 seconds, how is it traveling 10.5 centimeter? Understand? We are talking about height, not the traveling. height मतलब when it jumps कितना ऊपर जाता है from the water level. For example, if it is jumping like this, we are talking about this. Okay, so this height we are talking, not the distance or the the path it takes. Got it? So let's go for the last question. Last question says, how much distance has the dolphin covered before hitting the water level again? Before hitting the water level, starting mein, let us assume it was at, let's say, 0, right? Time when the time started, it was at 0. And what is the second 0 we got? Minus 25 upon 12, if you remember, right? So let's say minus 25 upon 12 is the other 0. I know, like, the left and right doesn't matter. I'm just making sure understand the question. 0 to minus 25 upon 12. This is the time frame it has traveled. Okay. Now I want the distance it traveled. Now, for distance is nothing but speed into time. Okay. Now I have the speed. What is the speed? It is 25 meter per second. Centimeter per second. Dolphin. Time, itna minute या itna seconds है, right? Because it's a 0. The graph is given about us time. Now, if it would have been 3, तो वो 3 सेकंड के लिए हवा में था. I would say it was, jumping out of the water. It was for 3 seconds. If it was 4, I would have said 4 seconds slow. I mean, I need to just find the difference. I know it's negative, but the difference is always going to be positive. So I'll say the time was 25 upon 12. Multiply 25 to 25 is what? 625 upon 12. We are talking about distance, matlab it would have traveled 625 upon 12 centimeters. Okay, so this is the answer for the last question. So with this, we are finished with one case-based study. And now, if you understood such questions and if you want to do more questions like this, I've got some extra questions for you, as always, to challenge yourself and your friends. So until next time, I'll come up with new chapters and exciting new tricks for MCQs and case-based studies. Until next time, bye-bye, take care, have fun. Bye.